In the world of martial arts, there are two names that stand not only as legends, but also as symbols of two very different generations: Bruce Lee and Jet Li. Two contrasting approaches, freedom versus structure, raw street instincts versus elegant martial artistry, have kept one timeless question alive. Who would win if Bruce Lee and Jet Li ever faced each other in a real fight? Jet Li is a former world wushu champion who elevated martial arts cinema to a whole new level. He showcased a mesmerizing fusion of traditional Chinese martial arts and cinematic brilliance that captivated audiences around the world. Victory is perhaps the most fitting word to describe Jet Li's story. Many movie fans often overlook the fact that Li is not only a film icon, but also one of the greatest wushu champions of all time, a true national sports hero in China. Meanwhile, Bruce Lee is known as a martial arts master with movement speed far beyond the ordinary. Stories about his lightning-fast reflexes and punching power have become legendary myths. Many have doubted Bruce Lee's abilities, thinking they were just movie magic. But recently, a real fight video of Bruce Lee resurfaced, showing his sparring session with one of his students, Ted Wong. Ted Wong repeatedly tried to land punches and kicks, but not a single one touched Bruce Lee. Lee calmly waited, countered, and then struck back with deadly precision. One of his counterpunches landed squarely on Ted Wong's face. Bruce Lee then followed up with a simple judo-style throw that sent Ted Wong crashing to the floor. When Ted got back up and attempted a spinning kick, Bruce once again effortlessly blocked and neutralized the attack. So if Bruce Lee and Jet Li were to face each other in a real-life fight, the victory would most likely go to Bruce Lee, provided that the duel was a raw, bare-handed street fight. However, if the match followed the traditional kung fu format with official rules and structure, there's no doubt that Jet Li would take the win. Here's why. Jet Li trained intensively under some of the greatest kung fu masters in China. His foundation is pure, technical, and refined, but his biggest weakness lies in his lack of real combat experience. Most of his fighting background comes from controlled tournaments and choreographed exhibitions rather than raw, unpredictable brawls. Bruce Lee, on the other hand, though famously known as a student of Ip Man, only trained under him for about 5 years. The majority of his knowledge came from self-training, experimentation, and his passion for understanding the essence of combat. That's why Bruce never called his creation Wing Chun or even traditional Kung Fu. His system, Jeet Kune Do, is a fusion of multiple martial arts: Wing Chun's trapping, karate's kicks, boxing's head movement and footwork, and even the forward and back rhythm inspired by fencing. After Bruce Lee brought Kung Fu to worldwide fame through his legendary films, this Eastern art quickly spread across the West and became widely practiced for self-defense. For instance, just look at this clip. A man adopts a confident Kung Fu stance against a street aggressor. And with just a single well-timed punch, he drops his opponent instantly. Another clear advantage Bruce Lee had was his real fighting experience. Even before training under Ip Man, he had already been involved in several street fights, experience that taught him not just technique, but the psychology of real combat. We can get a glimpse of what it might look like when these two martial arts styles go head-to-head in the following fight. A Wushu practitioner versus a Jeet Kune Do fighter.
It's okay. Little hook kick right there. Look at that. Some kung fu flair. Look at this. Oh, he's doing drunken. Whoa! Okay. Whoa! He got him. He got him. Whoa.
The Wushu master showcases incredible leg strength, sending the larger Jeet Kune Do practitioner to the ground multiple times with his powerful kicks.
Oh, another little kung fu variation of a scissor takedown.
At one point, the Jeet Kune Do fighter tries to counter with his own kicks, but it's clear that the Wushu master's power and control are on a completely different level.
Swept. Wow. Talking about having a good base when you kick, right? MMA guy.
Next, there's a moment when a kung fu practitioner faces off against a street bully with a boxing background. At first, the kung fu practitioner struggles to handle the boxer's heavy punches and fast combinations. But soon he regains his composure and turns the tables, defeating the bully with a series of impressive and precise kung fu techniques. And finally, we have the ultimate fantasy showdown, Jet Li versus Bruce Lee, a fight creatively edited together from two legendary film clips. At the start of the match, Jet Li launches a swift kick, but instead of landing the first strike, it's Bruce Lee who responds with a flurry of rapid kicks, striking Jet Li over and over. Not wanting to back down, the Wushu master counters with a series of powerful punches and kicks that momentarily put Bruce Lee on the defensive. However, those attacks only ignite Bruce Lee's fury, and once he unleashes his full power, his devastating strikes send Jet Li crashing through a glass wall. Because of his own miscalculation, Jet Li can no longer continue, as the Wing Chun master's final kick leaves him completely unable to fight back.